Okay, let's call this meeting to order. The regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Twin Head Palms Water District, April 22nd, 2026 at 4 p.m. This meeting may be viewed on the district's website at www.twinheadpalmswater.net. The board reserves the right to discuss only or take action on any item on the agenda. Roll call, Cindy?
Director Arthur is absent. Director Bowden?
Here.
Director Coghill?
Here.
Director Leeser?
Here.
Director Woods?
Present.
Pledge of Allegiance. General Manager, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, man. Okay. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
There are none.
Thank you. So that means there's no public comments. Agenda item 1, authorize the general manager to execute contract with Starting Line Advisory for accounting and financial consultant services. General manager?
Good afternoon, President Coghill and members of the board. Today before you is a 3-year agreement with Starting Line Advisory to continue accounting and finance services with the district. Remember initially when Starting Line Advisory came on board, we initially started a 16-month contract, going through Cindy Byram's retirement and just getting us through the next 2 fiscal years. Starting Line Advisory has over 10 years of financial services with the district and consultant services. Some of the services that Starting Line provides for the district is monthly bank reconciliation, monthly balance sheets, monthly financial statement, yearly ending, closing and district's books and records, the annual budget process, and the annual auditing process. There's many more things that Scott and Ian provide to this district. At the drop of a phone call, they're picking up the phone and they're right back to us with information. So Starting Line Advisory has established these relationships, proven performance, and is very reliable. District staff would like to open the discussion to continue with Starting Line Advisory as our finance consultants. So I'd like to open it up for discussion.
Director Woods?
I don't have any discussion. I'd like to make a motion.
Let's let the others have a chance to, please. Director Bowden?
I'd like to second her motion.
Director Leeser?
I got nothing.
I'm going to agree with that.
Me too.
I move to authorize the general manager to execute the contract with Starting Line Advisory for accounting and financial consulting services.
I second that.
Okay. It's been moved in second. Can I have a roll call vote, please, Cindy?
Director Arthur is absent. Director Bowden?
Aye.
Director Leeser?
Aye.
Director Woods?
Aye.
Director Coghill?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you, Scott.
It's like you work here.
Moving right along. Our consent calendar is up next. Matters under the consent calendar are to be considered routine and will be enacted in a single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the board, staff, or the public request specific items to be removed for separate discussion and action before the board votes on the motion to adopt. They include the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 25th, 2026, and the current audit list. What's your pleasure?
What was your question?
The consent calendar, we need a motion and a second unless you have discussion.
Sorry. Yes, I make a motion to approve this consent calendar.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So ordered. And there is no item number 3. Item 4, management reports. And I'll bet we start with the maintenance and the director of operations.
Good evening, Board of Directors. The Operation and Maintenance Department performed the following tasks during the month of March 2026. Responded to 43 USAs, 3 leak audits, painted 78 fire hydrants. We had 44 shutoffs, 649 total completed work orders, exercised 110 valves, 0 mainline leaks. There were 1,335 past due bills, totaled $9,504 in penalty fees. And I'll move on to water quality.
Please do.
Bacteria samples, a total of 50 routine bacteria samples were collected at test points for the storage and distribution system during this past month. All routine and special samples indicated absent for cholera. The district produced 190 acre-feet, which is a 12.93% decrease compared to the same month in 2013. And in 2013, it was 218 acre-feet. And last year, 2025 in March, it was 170 acre-feet. And if the board has any questions, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, you always tell us how many valves have been exercised. Have you ever told us how many valves we have?
On the 2 cycles, we're doing about 1,800 valves a cycle. There's about 3,600, if I believe, 3,600 valves, 1,800 on both sides. I believe it's like 1,845 and maybe like 1,836.
And these valves are on customers' houses, or these valves that are in our system? Wow.
In the system up in your neighborhood, when it flooded, we're out there locating with the GIS.
Tracking all the sectional valves and stuff
Yep.
at the street or street side valve to the house.
Inline
Yep.
valves,
Yep.
side outlet valves, all the mainline valves in the district.
How far is an average run between valves? Or is that?
There's really not an average because valves can be anywhere. You have an inline valve or a side outlet,
So
but right,
you gotta run it a long ways to get there, you just run it a long ways to get there, there's that valve.
there's that valve. Or usually on a hydrant run, you can easily find the valve because it's usually 15 feet away. But like if you have a side outlet with a hydrant valve next to it, it could be anywhere from as easy as 5 foot away, but as much as 25 foot, depending on the neighborhoods.
And these valves are straight through, right angles, T's, all kinds?
Yeah, so, sorry, inline valves are usually when you come to a T and it's at the end of the line, but side outlets are where we have a side outlet valve on a T, and you could have that at a cross. We in the water, like, terms of side outlets and inline valves is usually, or hydrant valves, so isolation hydrant valves, and they're all considered isolation valves. It's important to turn those valves so that they don't freeze in the system, and then when we go to do a shutdown on a street that might have a leak, we're not shutting down whole neighborhoods because we're not able to shut the system down.
Well, and the cycling cleans the valve seats too and the butterflies.
Right, I just wonder where the valves, I don't know much about the system. I've never,
And to add to that, correct me if I'm wrong, we use a valve turner, automatic valve turner on the equipment to do that with.
Yeah, I used to be called a maintenance worker.
Correct, and some of the valves do break, and
I did a lot of
recently
those.
Austin and his crew was out there.
As
So
a
imagine if
fireman.
a fire hydrant valve breaks, you can't shut the hydrant off. So his crew has to go out there, verify that the whole block, you shut the whole block off, hang door hangers, take it out of service, and hang a new valve cut into the main system. So it's a lot of work. They just did 2, I believe, this month. So out in Lair is a pretty remote area, but thank God it was out there.
And you also got to do that without getting back T's, you're passing back T's, so bacteria tests afterwards to get the system back on. You keep a one-way feed the whole time. So it's not just, hey, get in there and fix the valve and then, hey, turn it right back on. Now there's a process of how long we have to send samples off. When we get a sample back and we loop the system back and keep it, instead of being an isolated one-way feed, how do we get the system looped back together? So there's a process.
Yeah.
And one of the things we are going to bring, besides like a GIS talk, we're also going to bring the valve maintenance program in here so that you guys can get a better understanding of how many valves we turn. It used to be a 3-year cycle, and 2-3 years ago we made it a 2-year cycle where we've almost, 150% of our valves we turn now yearly.
okay. I was just wondering, because we say we exercised 100.
So our fancy GIS system, can it pull up basically a district map and say, I want to know which valves are in this run, and then it'll tell me?
It's very interesting.
Or like a map,
So-
like a
For the
blueprint
month
diagram?
of April right now, Austin has his phone on him, but the GIS map will show you right now how many valves we still have to turn. We pulled it up. Today, I think it was 43 valves left It shows you in red when it's
Right on.
turned, it goes to green. It's really handy, paperless.
Right on, Bob and I can testify to having outages out on the base and having to look at old blueprints, and then we were finding valves they didn't know about
Didn't know they were there.
until they
Pipes
modernized.
in the ground, they didn't even know they were there.
And it's the main reason why we've gone to GIS, is to have
It's
the
abbreviation for
technology
guess.
in our hands. And yeah, it's been a big asset, the GIS system.
I still do
they're great.
both, Matt and I both do the
Yeah.
old books, the younger generation. You show them an old book, Matt book, and they're like, wow, we're teaching them though.
Well, it's awesome that they know the history so they can cross-rep, so when the GIS system goes down, they can at least break out the old paper
Yeah, because we still have.
and have a reasonable confidence factor that they are accurate or not.
Mike is the old paper.
Because it's tough digging holes where you think it is, and then you dig down 15 feet and there's nothing there, and now you're digging 5 more feet over the right and left.
And thank God the board gives us that new ditch witch.
Yeah.
Takes the hand digging out of a lot of it now. It's a great tool with that ditch witch.
We try to make it easier for you guys, believe me. If it has anything to do with safety, let us know, please.
Young men with strong backs.
Yeah.
That's why they're important.
Any comments, criticisms, concerns?
No. None of the
Anything
above.
else from you?
No.
Mike, thank you for
Thank
both of
you.
those reports. Scott, you're up next, Finance.
Good evening, Board of Directors, including packets tonight, financial reports through February 26. All things equal, target budget percentage this month is 67% of budget. Big picture, total operating revenues, right on target, 67%, which is great going into summer months. We'll probably end up, over 100% of budget once we start seeing higher usage in the summer months here. Operating expenses trending below target, overall at 63%. One line I did just want to call out, when the P&Ls look this clean, I have to find different things to talk about on these reports. So on the investment report, page 2 of the financial reports, this breaks down agencies, unrestricted and restricted cash and investments. Separate from our reserve policy, this is just the different places we have money shoot away. 2 lines I just wanted to call out, lines 9 and 10, these are funds we have in LAIF for capital funds for primary and secondary infrastructure. So every month we talk about, non-operating revenues is higher than budget because we got all these capital impact fees for new connections. All the funds that get collected for those capital impact fees get put into this restricted bucket, basically signifying we have to use these funds in the future for further improvements to infrastructure. So especially in the coming months, as we look at some of these large, infrastructure projects the district is working on, that is something we can draw from to kind of improve the bottom line of our budget. Instead of hitting our general unrestricted reserves, we have money shoot away specifically to improve the district's infrastructure that we've been collecting from these fees. So that is something we'll look at in this coming budget for fiscal '27, potentially drawing down some of those funds just because they're there to be used for projects such as the redundant reservoir that we're working on. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions of the board.
Any questions?
Scott, with this recent thing in the state budget with employee funds that they had a $2 billion hiding or misstatement error, does that impact any of our stuff at all?
Doesn't impact us directly in any way. I don't know if it was state budget overall or if it was the CalPERS system.
I think it had to do with the CalPERS, and we're pretty much disconnected from that now, right?
Yeah, we're disconnected in
fire
every way
department's
except
gone?
from the district-wide pension system.
Yeah.
So I've seen some news articles in recent months about different, CalPERS took a big X
Yeah,
billion-dollar
the
hit this
unfunded
year in their
liabilities or
investments.
something like that.
It does affect us. We belong to the big pool of all pension liability in the state. The 29 Palms Water District has like a .003 share of the total liability.
Okay.
And that total liability is affected by the assets CalPERS has. So when we have a negative market year, it increases our liability because we have less assets to offset those. But bigger picture, those are big actuarial numbers that are 2 years in arrears. Like when we get our audit report each year, we're valuing the liability as of December 23 for this most
Okay.
recent audit. So it's not that it doesn't have any effect on us, but in a
But it's not a
day-to-day way that
catastrophic
we'll see,
thing for
and
us.
not cash at all. Right?
Okay.
All accrual, up in the sky money.
Okay, thank you.
Director Bowden? Director Wood? Thank you, Scott. Okay, item number 5 is our closed session, public employee performance evaluation. for our general manager. I'll need a motion and a second for the closed. I'm sorry, yes, I would, yes.
General Manager's report.
Sorry about
Good
that.
afternoon. For the month, I was able to take part in a discussion with city staff. So city is working on a FOGS program for their wastewater, and they've invited me to a lot of the discussions to help out. So FOGS are fats, oils, and greases. I just wanted to let you know the plaza, Freedom Plaza, should be switching from a septic system to that package treatment plant within the next 3 months, including the district installed the water meter today. So the staff was out there installing the water meter at Project Phoenix or Freedom Plaza. Had a quarterly meeting with city staff and USGS on the progress of the USGS study, and just as a reminder on that study, the district has $200,000 in the budget for the next 5 years. Whether we do an all-in-one or we break that down in, $40,000 for 5 years, or $40,000 for 5 years, or $50,000 for 4 years, that'll be determined through the city and where they need those funds kind of allocated. Scott and district staff currently are working on the 2026-27 budget, getting ready to bring a draft budget to the board of directors. Last week, I was able to take part in an advisory committee at Copper Mountain for the Water Technologies program. Got to meet with the instructor one-on-one because we were the only district there. That was kind of cool. And Mr. Corrales and I went over the 6-class syllabus, and we got to give our own personal insight on how the classes should run. They are treatment and distribution classes that are going to benefit our employees, that are going to be at the local level. So that's really exciting. That program has been in the works for years now, and there are students signed up where it looks like it's going to go this semester.
Good.
One of the things we discussed a while back is always keeping in contact with the city on projects and housing infrastructure going on. So right now, the city is currently looking at 137 lots over in the Desert Knoll area, retracking those. That doesn't mean that they're going to do all 137 units, but they've got to get the track map back up to date. And it looks like there's multiple phases where the district will be affected, and we'll have some say on the infrastructure going in.
Desert Knoll off of 2 Mile?
Desert Knoll housing track off 2 Mile, north of 2 Mile, correct. Yes. And then proposed business center, I was talking with the city planner Keith today over by Stater Brothers, and that's in very early stages. Traffic reports and other things could kill the project, but I know Director Woods had mentioned it's important for us to have those communications and just see where water services are going. So Keith and I are having, if not every month, every 2 months, where are we at? How's housing? Now, again, regular housing or some of these duplexes that we see going in, we know they're going in because we're putting in the infrastructure as well. Keith and I are still trying to communicate just to make sure we're on the same page. And kind of exciting, next Monday, the Van Dyke job is kicking off in our office, so we're going to do a pre-construction and start getting the submittal process rolling. So the $3.4 million job at the treatment plant is going to be starting, and I think I brought up last month that the tie-ins have been completed by district staff, so we're ready to put our hands in the air and see this job take off. So we're excited, and if the board has any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Questions for the general manager?
None for me, thank you.
No, thank you. Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
That's okay.
Now we're going to go into closed section for our general manager.
I move we go to closed session.
I second.
All those in favor?
Bye.
Close the meeting.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so back into open meeting. Coming out of closed session, according to the Brown Act, we have nothing to report. There is nothing to report. So moving on, item 6, future agenda item and staff's task, director's comments and reports. I'm going to start. Bring that up. The August, I'll start with this. The regular August meeting on the 4th Wednesday of the month is going to be in direct conflict with the board attendees going to the conference in La Quinta. So it's been suggested that we either cancel the August meeting or move it up a week. So can't act on it tonight because it's not on the agenda, but we need to talk about it to do it.
So what will go on a future agenda item?
Yeah, that'll be on a future agenda
Okay.
item. Hopefully next month, we will talk about that. And the other one, the other item is the May meeting,
Yes, moving the May meeting.
moving the May meeting up to the 21st of
It
May.
is scheduled on May 27th. Could we discuss a future agenda item, moving it to May 21st,
Yeah, that would be
when we would have a quorum?
the Thursday a week early.
Correct,
Instead of Wednesday a week early, it's that Thursday.
correct.
Okay. I looked on my calendar before we started the meeting, and I'm good. Larry, are you good?
gone.
You're gone, that's right, you're gone,
I'm good.
and you're good. Okay, so for future agenda items, we need to put down, if we need to, move it to May, the regularly scheduled meeting in May to May 21st discussion, and then the regular meeting in August, moving it up a week. I don't know the date.
The May meeting is the next meeting.
And the August one, we won't be, because we have a staff conflict. So August, no meeting.
Oh,
This is
okay.
what we've discussed.
Okay.
May 21st of 26, we'll make it an item, and we've got to do a special meeting to do that, because we need to agendize it, then we need to vote on it.
Right.
June, regular meeting. July would be the meeting, we move up a week. August, no meeting.
Correct. The July meeting would move up to the Wednesday prior, which would be July 15th.
15.
Right. And all those will be talked about at the next meeting.
Do we have a date that we're looking at for the special meeting to agendize these date changes? Or is that something to be discussed at another time?
Yeah, let us figure out how we're going to put a special meeting together, give the prior notice like we have to, and it'll be a quick agenda, just on that one item. Changing the board meetings.
Dates will be important
Yes,
because of May. So,
yes.
What
Yes.
days would you be available?
Do we have to talk, can we can do it outside of the session? Yeah, Bob. Okay, thanks, Bob.
Okay. Now, does any other directors have director's comments or reports? Since I led that off, there's others. Anybody else have anything?
I don't think so, no.
Future agenda items, staff tasks, or director comments and reports? Nobody
No.
else? Okay. Did we cover everything? All right, I guess the last item was adjournment. Any motion and a second to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So be it. We adjourn. Thank you all for your patience.
Thank you. Now, Matt, if you